my notes.
Oh, weird.
Bam, we're live. You know what it is? I'm not like closing the window properly or something. But basically, I rebuilt some links for the show notes today. That shit always stresses me out. I didn't lose all my notes, which is good. But basically, there was like when I go, oh, Justin Medeiros first showed up on your Instagram account 24 weeks ago, and then bam, I had those links set up for you. Or holy cow, I can't believe the transformation your body's gone in 6 years, and there's like the before and after picture. And
That's crazy.
but I sent you all those links. Or are you a tier athlete? Those are all questions I'm going to ask her.
Okay.
And then I resent you the links in a second email. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
And then my coffee machine needed to be rescaled this morning.
Oh.
But you know what's cool? When that happens, I still have strong coffee. And with
nice.
that shit, you just put a scoop and add hot water. So
ready to rock after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to share with you something that you can carry with you your entire life. Listen up. Ready? Free of charge. My mom taught me this as a little boy, and now I'm passing it on to you. Good morning, Jamal. Good morning. Ellie Turner does seem like a really good dude. When someone calls you and they say, hello, may I speak with Jody Lynn? Jody Lynn and Soccer Mom aren't the same person?
No.
Holy shit, I am a mess. Jody Lynn's the one in the cabinet shop in Connecticut?
Correct.
Wow, I am a jackass. When someone calls your house and says, hi, may I speak to Jody Lynn? First of all, your response isn't speaking, or your response is, may I ask who's calling? Or you can say, hey, dumb fuck. Didn't your mom teach you that you never call someone's house and just ask for someone? You always announce yourself first. Did you not have a mom? Even a woman who works at a brothel knows to do that. Hi, I'm Big Susie. What's your name? Even she knows.
Even Big Susie.
What is wrong with you? Anyway, there's so many scams out there. Hi, Ellie.
Hello.
There's so many scams out there right now. Someone's trying to get into my PayPal account, and then they text me on the side, and they're like, hi, is this Sevan?
They're crafty, too. They are smart.
I always say, hey, I'm going to show my husband this, and he works for the FBI. Instead of pounding my ass tonight, he's going to come find you. Guess what he's going to do?
Investigate.
Yeah, do not respond to anybody. No, Amazon's not calling you and being like, oh, but we have a weird charge on your phone for an iPhone 14. Did you buy it? Just hang up on that person. Or if your husband is Nicky Rod, send him over. Ask for the address and send Nicky Rod over. Anyone scamming you, Ellie, besides me? Getting you on this podcast? Anyone besides that?
No one yet. I feel like they try and scam the older people. You know?
That's true. That's
We're
true.
off to a rough start.
They know where to like aim their targets.
Listen, Jamal, that part where you said Jody Lynn's a good dude and I said she is a good dude, I'm back out. Jury's out. Where is that? Where is it? Ellie, no. Let's wait till the show's over. The old people. Sweat. That made me start sweating.
Got them worked up already.
Are you
good start.
Are you in Australia or are you in Washington?
Neither, actually. I'm in Squamish, Canada.
Oh, what's up there?
Not the US, which I have to be out of at the moment because I'm getting a US visa.
Okay.
So I can be anywhere in the world apart from America.
Some sort of like dance you have to do for legal reasons.
Yeah, pretty much.
How does that work? 6 months in, 3 days out, or what is that?
You can do that if you've got it's called an ESTA. And I've done that pretty much all year, but they've pretty much told me that I can't keep sort of abusing the system and coming in for 3 months, leaving for a couple of days, coming in for 3 months. I've had to go and get a more permanent visa, which hopefully after this process is complete, I'll have 3 years.
Any fear that you would leave this time and then there would be some sort of hiccup. Well, there's 3 L's in your name on this paperwork. We have to start everything over again. You'll be stuck in Canada for 4 years now.
Oh, yeah. I'm still like very nervous about it. There's already been quite a few hiccups.
Mhm.
But I started doing the process by myself and then realized that was going to be more of a possibility if I did it myself. So I ended up paying money and getting a lawyer, because they do this all the time, and like they know exactly what to say, because a lot of the questions and the things you have to fill in, there's like a right and a wrong answer, even though there's not. Like they're looking for specific things that you say. So yeah, I was just like, stuff it, I'm just going to get a lawyer and make this process quicker and easier. More expensive, obviously, but it's worth it if I can get back in.
Your boyfriend will pay for it. I swear he will. I swear he will.
He got a little cash recently.
I swear he will pay for it.
Well, I'm yet to get him to pay for anything, so
He's definitely going to pay for this one. He's going to, one way or another, he's going to pay for this one.
okay, you keep on him then.
Why Squamish? Who's up there?
One of our coaches, Jesse, lives up here. So he's been kind enough to let me stay, and it's been good because a few of the things that I need to work on, I've been able to get a lot more time with him to work on those things. So it's been really good.
So you're not up there like kicking yourself like, oh, this is a waste of time. You're like, okay, this is good.
No, we're definitely using the time very wisely.
I'm looking for a picture of him. I know I saw one.
Yeah, there should be a few.
You're like, oh my God, everything happens for a reason. You're like your typical 20-year-old girl. Look, I'm trying to get her back. I'm trying to get her back for that old comment.
Yeah, that was
good. Oh my God,
It
everything happens for a reason. I came up here so I could train with Jesse.
Yeah.
But no shit, everything happens for a reason. Oh, I see Jesse. Okay, I see him. Let's see if I can beat Matt to the punch. Bam.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, he looks Canadian. He looks Canadian.
Yeah.
Take that how you want, Jesse. You look Canadian.
Yeah, no, he's a very good guy.
Isn't he the strength guy? Isn't that kind of like the last thing you need? I just watched Justin on Talking Elite Fitness say you're the best squatter he's ever seen.
Yeah, he is the strength guy, but he also works on like, there's obviously a lot more to just like being strong in like the overarching picture. And I think a lot of like my little muscles get overlooked because my bigger muscles take over. So we're really trying to like work to redefine those and like activate everything properly. And I'm typically not the best deadlifter. I love squatting, hate deadlifting. So we're really trying to peel that back and get that more efficient as well.
Let's dig in there. You don't like that movement, or you feel some pain, or you're scared of it, or what about deadlifting don't you like?
I'm not very good at it. I'm just like way more biased towards the squat. Like my deadlift and squat is roughly like there's not much difference in between, which shouldn't be the case. I don't get pain, anything like that. I just fatigue in a deadlift way quicker than I would in a squat.
It's like it's interesting too, because like I would think that most people prefer deadlift just because it's kind of lazy. It's a lazy movement compared to the squat. By that I mean the assault bike is so much better than running because you get to sit.
Yeah,
you get to sit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Go ahead.
I've got a long torso and short legs. So like genetically predisposed probably more towards a squatter than a deadlifter. Because like when I deadlift, I obviously have to, the weight is like way out from me because my torso is long. So I have to like, I don't know, there's something about it that it just feels wrong. So we're trying to like work on that.
How about your arms? Do you have these arms or do you have the monkey arms?
No, I got short little arms.
All right. I'll take your word for it. God, I wish I was a better squatter.
Short, stumpy arms.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
And when did you realize you were strong?
It's only been since like CrossFit, which has been like 5 years. I started CrossFit in July of 2017. And from then I've probably put on over that 70 pounds.
70.
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
So you're a 150-pound woman who was 80 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow. So there's a picture. Is that 80-pound you?
No, that was like
83-pound you.
no, that was sort of like when I'd started like exercising a little bit more again. But yeah, before that I was like pretty slender, and I've always been a pretty built, muscular person. I've always been into sports, and I was working very hard to like try and be little, and yeah, it's just not me. So then when I found CrossFit, I was like, this makes sense. Like this is what I was meant to do. And so I just started like, eating a little bit more and training regularly, and the muscle just like piled on. And I'm someone that doesn't struggle to put muscle on. Like I have to be careful because like I can get pretty muscular. And so yeah, it like obviously there was a lot of hard work, and there was a lot of like force feeding to start with, and working really hard. But yeah, over the 5 years I've slowly just put more and more strength on. And yeah, I'd say now that's probably one of my strengths, is like the way that I can move some weight.
Did you have unhealthy skinny? Like I'm hearing throwing up shit? No, but just like I will not eat.
Yeah.
And other stuff too, like before you go to bed, like 500 sit-ups or ridiculous running or shit like that.
I mean, it was definitely a disordered way of life.
Tell me something crazy you used to do. I used to have this neighbor, this girl. She was cool, but she was so skinny. It was in college. I'd be like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I ate." And I'm like, and I'd be looking out my window of my house, and she's like, "I'm like, what do you mean you ate?" She's like, "I have to do 500 sit-ups and run 5 miles now." I was like, "Wow, okay, I'm gonna take a bong rip. I'll see you later." It was like,
yeah, no. To be honest, there was probably a lot of crazy things that I did. I've sort of blocked that part of my life, like out of my memory at this time. And I'm just like focusing on every step forward in CrossFit. And I think there'll be a time when I'm ready to share a little bit more about that. But at the moment, I'm sort of just like, let's focus on CrossFit. Let's focus on this goal at hand, and like doing the best I can, and hopefully winning the games. And then, yeah, I think I'll share my story a little bit more over the next few years.
is there? By the way, you handled that fantastically.
Well done.
Thank you.
Is there any part of is the new Ellie and the old Ellie? Is it fair to call them that? Are they two different people?
Oh, completely. I think there's obviously always overlap. I think the same person that got me to that point is the same person that's driven to get me to win the games. I think they're the same person, but I'm just using my like mental fortitude in a very different way.
Yeah, that's you now.
Yeah.
The letter X.
Thick thighs.
Hey, do you know Benny Watson?
I do very well.
That's a boy or a girl?
A boy.
Boy, yeah, you must be like, thank you, Benny.
He's a great photographer.
That is such a great picture. And what are you looking at? You're looking at Justin in the stands. Hey, cutie.
Oh, obviously. It's exactly what I was focused on in the middle of that event.
The tier shoes you're wearing there, tier, am I pronouncing that right?
Yep.
And they just came on like gangbusters.
Oh,
God, look
they
at your
did.
body there. That's crazy, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's been a lot of hard work. I mean, like every photo I put up now, there's always juicing comments, which I think is like,
I get those too.
yeah, I bet.
He hates it. He hates it.
You don't look like you're juicing in the slightest, by
Yeah,
the way.
I mean,
No, not at all.
I don't see that. Where's that vein on your forehead?
Yeah. facial hair.
Look very healthy.
Which I think is a compliment to the hard work that we put in as CrossFit female athletes, particularly, that like people think we're juicing, and it's like, no, this is just hard work. Like it takes a lot of time, and I think if a lot of people will try and get to this point, and they can't, because there's so many elements to it than just like working out and eating lots. Like, but yeah, it definitely, like the first few comments, I was like a little bit hurt by, and then you just sort of get used to it. And
Yeah,
you do get used to it.
Yeah, like you get more comfortable accepting the comments. I mean, they never feel good, especially if it's like a real dig at something you're already insecure about. But you know that these people are literally probably like old, overweight men sitting at their
Cold.
yeah.
No, but you're 100% right. Any type of person just can't fathom the hard work that goes into that. Most normal people can't. So they think to themselves, well, there's no way I could do this. There must be something else. There has to be something else, because otherwise they're just left with their own excuses as to why they're not putting in the work.
Yeah,
it's easier just to accuse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what your caloric intake went from? We had Danielle on here one time, Brandon, and she said she was restricting herself to 1,200 calories a day. And she had an assault bike incident where her coach is like, basically she turned off while riding the assault bike, and her coach is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Look, I don't like to talk numbers, because obviously it's like a comparable thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't want, there's probably girls out there that are suffering just as bad as I was. And I know that when you're in that, is you hold on to numbers and you're like, oh, okay.
Fair.
Like, but it was very little. It was not healthy at all. Like, I would never recommend nor wish it on anyone. And it gets to a point where it's not actually in your, like, it's not in your control. Like, it's a mental illness. So, but yeah, now I am eating 3,000 plus cows a day, all the carbs. And I notice if I have a day where I don't eat enough, don't drink enough, don't sleep enough, like that next week I'm going to feel it. So it's not worth to me now impacting, like, my goal of trying to win the CrossFit Games is so strong that like nothing is worth like getting in the way of that. And I know that's just what I have to do. It's just part of the job.
God, you've really landed where you're supposed to land.
Yeah. I feel, I know last year at the Games, it was my rookie year, and there was a lot of hurdles to jump through to get there, with COVID and getting in and out of Australia, and just traveling by myself for the first time, having no family and friends there. Like it was really hard. But then I like stepped out on the floor for the first time, and I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. Like, this is what I was meant to do. And I just had like this overarching sense of like, yeah, this is my path. Like, this is definitely my passion. And I think even if I wasn't competing at the level I was, I would still be training the same way because I love it. So yeah, I'm just like really happy and content with where I have ended up and the opportunities that I've like created for myself.
When you win the CrossFit Games, you're gonna cry.
Am I?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
I know my family probably would.
Yeah, you're so there's going to be a release valve. No one stand next to her. You could get injured.
Yeah, you might be right.
You're so calm, but I crazy feel your intensity in the seriousness of maybe serious isn't the right word. I will stick with serious. The seriousness of all the words and statements you say.
I'd say I'm like I've got a bit of both. Like I like to have fun and I'm pretty easygoing, but then there's always a pretty focused, intense side, especially when training is related.
Do you see any let me go back a little bit. 24 weeks ago, from what I could tell, Justin Medeiros, the 2 times CrossFit Games champion, popped up on your Instagram for the first time, separated by Chris Hinshaw. What the fuck he's doing in the picture? Chris, get out.
I know.
Just straight cock blocking. So now that you know him and you have this intimate training environment with him, are there any things that you notice in similarities between the two of you? I haven't picked up any. There's an intensity to Justin sometimes when I ask him questions. Like I can see the brick wall go up. Like, what's your mile? Nothing heavy. Like, did your parents beat you? But like, what's your mile time? And it's just all of a sudden, it's like he just changes. Like none of your fucking business.
Yeah, he gets serious then.
Yeah, he gets serious. Is there anything? But I never noticed. I can't sense that he has a chip on his shoulder or that he's trying to prove something to someone, which I get from a lot of really successful people. And I already picked that up from you. Like you're going to show the world something. You're like, okay, hold my beer for a few years while I handle my business out here. Do you know what drives him or do you see similarities in what drives you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I think he's got a very good internal motivation. Like a lot of people try and use external factors to motivate them and like get them to where they want to go, but I don't think you can fake having like internal drive and like the want and the competitiveness you need to win. And I think you saw that 100% at the games this year. Like I could just tell from the moment that he like lunged past Ricky in up and over event, there was just no stopping him. Like he's just got that like competitive like internal drive to just be like, I'm going to win this because like no one else is getting in my way. And I think we're similar in that way, in the sense of like we don't need external things to push us. If like obviously it helps, and that's why we started training together, was it definitely like adds another element, but we both got to the games by ourselves, training by ourselves, so we don't need it, but it's just like that little icing on top.
Is the you bring up an interesting point, internal versus external motivation. Is the motivation to be, when you want it to be thin, is that like an external motivation, and the desire to win the CrossFit Games is an internal motivation?
No, I think they're both internally driven.
Okay.
Like it wasn't my intention to be thin. It was more of just like, that's what my head was telling me that I was going to do. And so like when I set my mind to something, there's very little things that will stop me. Like can be very persistent and very like driven in that sense. Like if I really want something, I'll make it happen.
I've never asked a female guest this.
Okay, I'm a little bit nervous.
What I'm about to ask
Me
you.
too.
I guess you could say it's because I'm sexist. Everyone's been right all this time. Have you ever been to jail?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been? Oh, good. Because I always ask the dudes that, and now I'm just like, the girls don't get that. Like, I don't assume you guys went to jail. I just assume all of us have been to jail at least once.
No, never. I've got no criminal history. Like I'm a rule follower. Not gonna lie.
Right.
But before the games last year, when I got to the US, I got put in a cell. Like I got taken back, like
secondary.
Yeah, no, but it was like I was put in a cell
at the airport. At the airport.
Yeah.
They're in a holding cell.
They took my phone and my passport. I was in this tiny little room. They brought in like all my suitcases and everything. Like went through literally every garment of clothing with like a fine tooth comb. And I was in there for like a couple hours, missed all my connecting flights, couldn't contact anyone. This was my first time traveling by myself. I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, send me back.
What city was that? What city was that?
San Francisco.
Oh.
And I got like another customs officer and he came in and he's like, after the process was all done, like the most stress I've ever been in. He came in and he was like, I'm sorry, this must be a mix up. Like, I don't know why you're back here. And then I was on my way. I was like, this was a traumatizing event. Now every time I see a customs officer, I get like freaking PTSD. Yeah, I don't know.
I want to throw up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, that was my first like impression of America.
That was your first time you just landed in, where did you were coming from, Sydney to San Francisco?
Yeah. Maybe Melbourne, actually. One of them.
It must be a mix up.
Yeah. I don't know whether the guy, I was told after, like, since working with this lawyer for my visa, she was like, I don't know why that happened to you, but I know that it's like one of the things they can like pin you for is drugs. And I don't know whether I had like a tank top on, and I don't know whether he like saw my muscles and was like, oh, she must be taking drugs. Let's get her.
I went into Canada one time, a bunch of times. I've been stopped in secondary going in there so many times, but we were visiting, this is in 2008, we were visiting the first CrossFit Games champion, James Fitzgerald, and they stopped Carrie Peterson and I and took us into secondary, and they must have asked us 50 times where the steroids are.
Really?
Like, wow,
really?
thank you. Yeah. I was only 34 then. I was only 34 then, 35.
Right.
Where's the steroids? I'm like, what steroids? Hey, and you know what's funny? It was just Carrie and I, and then a shitload of Muslim women, and there was some oil convention there. Canada, I guess, they got a lot of oil, so they were having some oil convention there, and it was just tons of dudes in 3-piece suits just flying through customs, and it was myself and Carrie and like probably 50 Muslim women, I don't know if they're Muslim, but they had the ninja outfits on. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I could hear Carrie's lady yelling at him. Didn't I ask you if you were bringing any food? And she's holding a bag of broccoli. Didn't I ask you? Do you not take this serious?
Yeah. That's the thing, is that when they're pounding you like that and you just like panic, you're like, I don't like, it's hard to answer the questions. Like, yeah.
I just, soon as they started yelling at Carrie, I dropped my pants and spread my butt cheeks just as an involuntary reaction. Search me.
Assume the position immediately.
That's probably from some childhood trauma or something. I was acting out.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And those, it's so stereotypical too, the people who are doing it to you. Like the guys and the women, they look just like the ones in the movies. It's like, stereotypes are right.
Yeah. And like,
you do have that haircut.
I'd only experienced America through movies. So like I had all these like ideas of what it was going to be like. And I was like, yep, this fits the box. Like this is exactly what I thought. Get me out. If this is like, if everything that I've seen in movies is true, I don't want a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I hear you. So, well, the good news is it's probably only been uphill from there. You just came in on a real low.
Yeah. I mean, the first year I experienced like every possible worst case scenario. So now, like this year, I had so much fun because I was like, oh, this is what it's like.
You're in a good spot. You're in a good spot too.
Yeah.
San Francisco is probably the worst place in the country, and now you're like in one of the better places in the country. You know, just outside of, you're just outside of Zombieville. Have you been to Portland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some good coffee there.
They do.
Yeah.
Where do you know what a hazmat suit is? Do you know what astronauts wear? Like those giant suits. If you go to Portland, put one of those on. You didn't see all the zombies there?
No.
No.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Just all the people on the streets, just all the drug addicts,
I did.
by the shitloads everywhere.
It's very sad.
Yeah. Do you guys have that in Australia? Do you guys have I think we have more homeless people than you have people.
Yeah, I thought we had homeless people. Like, Justin actually asked me that like one of the first days I was here. And I was like, yeah, we have homeless people. And then he showed me, like, we went past a street, and I was like, actually, I don't think we do, because we don't, like, nothing like you might see a person here and there laying in, like, on the sidewalk somewhere, but like it's nothing compared to what you guys have over here. Like, yeah, I was blown away.
It wasn't like this 20 years ago. Like all of a sudden we just turned into India. It's weird. Yeah. Except in India, their homeless people truly are the poor. Our homeless people they're just straight up drug addicts. They just went off the deep end with drugs.
I actually went down a street in Vancouver, Canada, the other day.
Big
drove
problem
down
there.
it, and I like wanted to be sick. Like it was crazy. It was like, yeah, it was so bad. It took my breath away. Like I was like, oh my God, how is this real life?
You're like 100 burpees don't sound so bad anymore.
Yeah. It's like my problems do not sound bad anymore.
When do you come back from Squamish and where do you go?
It really depends on when I can get my visa. I have an appointment for an interview in a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow. So this is okay. It's not like tomorrow.
No, I wish. It's usually it takes like months and months to get an interview, but I've been like going to the embassy and like just like sitting there and just like pestering them. And so I've got an interview, and then they have like a few days, I think it's like a week or two, to like process it and actually like make the visa, and then I'll get my passport back and then I can come back in, all going to plan.
So if your interview is not for another 2 weeks, sorry for this ignorant question. Are you going to Rogue?
Yes, I am.
But isn't that's going to be tight that we're coming up against
tight.
But you're hopeful.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
You are? Okay, sorry. You are going to be there. Sorry.
Yes.
Stop that.
Yeah,
nonsense.
No questioning it.
Yeah.
Nope.
And then, and how long have you been up there?
I've been up here since the start of like 30th of August. I flew in, so it was like almost a month.
I kind of remember what it's I kind of remember what it's like to be 24. Are you like just crazy missing Justin? Like I remember being 24. Like you have like lots of passion and like you're giddy. You're like a little kid still. Like, are you just dying to just see him and just grab him?
I think it's been hard because we literally, from the day that we met in Vancouver, Washington, I was like living under the same roof as him, obviously with our two housemates that we stayed with. And we literally did everything together. Like I didn't have a car, so we'd drive to the gym together, obviously work out all day together, would like in the same house. So like it's been really weird being apart because it's like we literally did everything together. So that's definitely taken some like adjusting to.
Your Honor, the witness is not answering the question. She's being hostile.
But yes, I do miss him.
Like a lot, like giddy miss him, like you when you're doodling on paper, you're writing his name and shit, or like, or as you're doing like thrusters, you're like J U S.
I'm not gonna get his name tattooed across my forehead if that's
okay. I just remember being at that age, and it's like once you just you're in that mode, like you just can't stop thinking about the person.
Can't turn it off.
Yeah.
When did you?
I've got my focus. I think we've both put our energy into focusing on preparing for Rogue.
Okay.
I think that's definitely been helpful to take our minds off of it.
When did you feel the spark? When did you know you liked him?
I don't know if there was like
3 years ago.
Just
she has a 10-page plan of execution.
But usually there's a moment you're there every day together.
Page
and
5
stuff.
of 10.
Oh, you're only on page 5 of 10. We haven't seen.
No,
I like that.
There's still way more to go. I'm freaking got it all laid out. No, I think like I just, right from the get-go, we were really comfortable around each other, and we got along straight away. And
so not before you went to Vancouver?
No.
I'm going to ask you the question again. You're more than welcome to change your answer. Not before Vancouver?
Not before Vancouver, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
okay.
we didn't know each other very well. Like, we'd met once or twice. But I was just on my way back. I had been in Canada, and I was on my way back to Australia. And obviously, like, I have to sort of fly pretty much through there to get into like LA or San Fran to get back. So the idea was to just stop in there for a week to get as much experience as I could. The games last year was like my third ever like major competition. So I was
that's crazy. I learned that yesterday. That's crazy.
Soak up as much information as I could. And yeah, just felt comfortable straight away. And could just be ourselves around each other like instantly. And then I think there wasn't exactly a spark. It was just like easy.
You guys were walking in the gym one day and your hands just lined up and they held and you just cruised in and never let them go.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would love to interview the housemates and hear their... Yeah, it was weird. All of a sudden, they started staying up till 3 a.m. talking in the kitchen every night. It was really weird. Before, Justin would close his bedroom door at 9 p.m. and say, if I hear a fucking noise, I'm going to kill someone. Now he's outside.
Giggling.
Yeah. I wonder if that is... I get this sense from Justin and his family that he's super familial, right? And those people, like his family means so much to him, and it seems like he has a really warm father and mother. And I wonder if that's why it is so easy, because that's his way of understanding the world, right? And there's everyone's kind of family. He's a love bug, right? It's mom and dad and sisters and and you feel that from him when you're there. Like I've never hung out with him, but that's total the.
Yeah. Him and his family are very close, and it's nice to see. Like he would do anything for any one of them.
Are they excited for him? When you come into their life, are they worried? Do they hide that? How does
I hope they're excited.
How does that work? Do you remember first meeting them? Did you go to wherever they live in that scary part of the country? That's a scary part of the country.
I met them in person for the first time.
I just like to do that to fuck with Justin's dad. Sorry, say that again.
I met them for the first time at the games, like right before the games. In the trailer park.
Oh, in Lodi.
No.
I know. I'm joking. That was just another shot at Mr. Medeiros. Yes, I understand. In the trailer park. Did you grow up in a trailer park?
Me?
Yeah.
No, well, for starters, we call them caravan parks.
Yeah, you can call them what you want. I know. I know who lives there. White people with missing teeth.
But no, I did not. I grew up actually like on the coast, right on the beachfront in a little town called Moonta, which is about it's in South Australia, and it's 2 hours out of Adelaide, which is like the main city.
Crazy hardcore beach community. Everyone's
it's
barefoot, flip-flops with nice bodies.
No, it's like your typical country town. Like there's a lot of beer bods going around. A
lot of what?
Beer bods, like
beer bellies. Okay. Yeah. Old people, old dudes.
Lots of old dudes. It's like there's obviously still very there's an athletic community there, but it's not. There's no surfing or anything like that. It's a flat. Like we're in a bay, so there's no waves. But yeah.
Did you spend a lot of time at the beach?
Yeah.
So but it's not a beach town?
It's a beach town, but like it's not centered around like surfing.
And it's not super touristy.
Oh, it's very touristy. Like in our summer holidays, like the population like triples. because everyone comes in to stay there.
Okay. Has Justin been there?
He has not, no.
Are you anxious to take him there?
We're actually going down. I'm competing in like the Down Under Championship in Australia with Tia and Brooke at the end of November, and then we're going back home to see my family like after that.
And Justin's going with you on that trip.
He is, yeah.
Oh, so I must not understand what's going on. I know I don't understand what's going on. I thought you had to choose between this Australia, not you, Ellie Turner. Great fucking name, by the way. I thought you had to choose between Rogue and this Australia thing, but you're doing both.
I'm doing both.
Because I always heard that was the reason why Tia is not doing Rogue, because she's doing Australia Down Under.
I mean, that might be her reasoning, especially like, I mean, she's got a lot more years under her belt than what I do. So she's like, might not want to do as many off-season competitions as what I am potentially. But I mean, I got a late call up for Rogue. So I wasn't like in the initial round of invites. So I'd already agreed to Down Under before I got my Rogue invite. But as I said, like I'm just trying to get as much experience as I can. So as long as I'm feeling like mentally and physically up to it, then I'm going to try and compete.
What's the number of days between the two? When's the Australian one?
It's like the 18th to 20th of November.
Oh, like
so 18 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to do quarantine when you go to Australia, like 2 days or something?
No, we're all open now.
Oh, don't lie to me.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Last year I had to do 4 weeks. This year,
oh,
holy smokes! In a hotel the whole time?
I was in a hotel for the first 2 weeks in Sydney, and then because the borders to the States were shut, I had to then do another 2 weeks flying from Sydney to Adelaide, which is where I was living.
Goodness.
And I did the first couple of days in a hotel, but I pretty much just like fought my way out of doing the whole rest of the 2 weeks. And
I need to hear that. I need to hear that whole story. I'm looking for the hotel room Instagram post. That I'm so glad to hear you say that. You're the first person I've heard say that. I want to hear how you fight. This is the hotel?
Yes, that is the hotel. And like the last days, and there was actually a bed that was where I was working out. There was a bed that was there, and I've only worked out to do this in the last couple of days, but I like flipped the bed up so I had more room, because otherwise I had literally, you could only just walk around the edge.
Hey, that would have been a great Instagram post
pacing up and down
of you flipping up the bed. By the way, make a note of that next time they quarantine.
Yeah, that's how I got good at the pig.
Yeah.
Man, it's like something Colton Mertens would do. Just flip the bed up.
Yeah.
But before I talk about, I do want to talk about the quarantine. One of my favorite subjects. How rich is Tia? What's the prize money for Rogue, Susan? It's like probably like $200,000, right?
I think it's like 275, 3. Let's find out. How
much loot does she have? And there's someone, if she doesn't own a home there, there's someone there who would be like, yes, Tia Shane, please stay in our cabana, our 4-bedroom cabana here on or our penthouse in this, wherever it's in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's someone there who would definitely put her up. Life must be good.
I mean, I think she would be pretty comfortable in her life, but I think she's probably got her sights set on the next year's season more than
$215,000 for a day's work. I mean, I know it's not really a day's work, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oy.
It would be nice.
Oy. So let's save the quarantine. It's so juicy. So tell me about how you get Tier as a sponsor.
I mean, I started working with my agent, like Daniel, just after.
What's Daniel's last name?
Robbins.
Okay.
And just after Waterpalooza, and I think Tia.
He approached you there.
Yeah, we met there. Yeah. And then Tia were also at Waterpalooza they were one of the vendors there. And obviously I had a pretty good like first few days of competition. So I think
smashed it.
They saw me there and I was sort of on their radar. So they approached me, and then after I started working with Daniel, he sort of like did the rest.
Who else does Daniel represent?
Like a heap of games athletes. I think obviously Justin, and then
he's Justin's agent too?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. I had no idea. Okay, wait a second here. I knew.
Stumbled upon something.
Yeah. I believe you that you're not juicing. I never suspected it for a second. But you're telling me that this guy at Wadapalooza has the same agent as Justin, but you went to Fort Vancouver just for training.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want you to know that it's not, there's nothing damning there, but there's some breadcrumbs just lead to the house. And
yeah.
Okay.
I know it sounds weird, but it's true.
The thing is, it's such an incestuous community. It's like there's so few people to work with that it does. I mean, it's not damning. Yeah. It's not, but it does set off some red flags. Like, okay. Did he think, have you ever asked him, did he think when he met you, oh, because everyone has a little Cupid in them, these two would be a good couple?
I think he knew that we would get along well.
Right. He knows his stable of clients.
I don't think he knew how well.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you, what do you think about your nation quarantining the people for 2 weeks in the hotels and stuff? Did you like that idea?
No.
No, you didn't like it. Did anyone, do you think the majority didn't like it? Or the majority liked it?
Yeah. No, the majority did not like it. I think our media did a very good job at scaring people to like it, but everyone that had been through the process was not a fan. I can tell you that much. But like, I think everyone was just in Australia was so scared of COVID and like what the government was going to do. It was like, we don't want COVID in here. So all the international travelers, like, shove them in a hotel. Like, we don't want them to infect us, sort of thing. It was like they were just creating so much fear.
Has anyone in this country? No one's apologized yet. Like, we haven't had a leader. Like, our president of the United States hasn't said, "Oh shit, there was no way of stopping it. The vaccines aren't working. I should have told you guys to exercise. I'm so sorry. I shit the bed." Has anyone said that in your country?
No, I don't think that is ever going to happen.
It seems pretty easy to say. It seems like it would be nice.
Yeah, I think they're still going with that. To be fair, I don't think they're just people as well. And they didn't know what to do. Like, it was a global pandemic. Like, we'd never been through anything like this before. And they were just trying to like make the decisions that was going to keep ideally people safe and also like not.
I'm with you. I'm not like my right-wing. These people who watch my show are fucking right-wing fucking nut jobs. They think the government did it for power, control. They think there's like some sentient being up there. They think there's some like Jewish guy with the cane being like, we're going to Illuminati. I agree with you. But I think our leaders were scared and they were trying to do the right thing. And I agree with you 100%.
Like,
totally 100%.
Right thing. I would have not liked to be in that position, the person calling the shots.
But Ellie, you can go look now, and Ellie, I'm not fighting with you, and Ellie, we could Google right now and look at COVID rates in New Zealand and Australia. And you guys own COVID now. It's the highest it's been in fucking 2 years. It seems to only be in New Zealand and Australia. I mean, you guys, because of the lockdowns, because you held it, like you guys did the lockdowns and everyone's, I mean, don't get me wrong. The United States did some, like in our CDC guidelines, it says never quarantine healthy people. It says that. And yet they did it. They went against their own rules. But, it's not, but I agree with you. You're not a conspiracy. You don't think it's like some sort of aliens trying to control us, or like all the richest people in the world did it to try to control us?
No.
Me neither. I agree.
I don't agree with the way that our government went about it, but like, I also don't know what I would have done in that situation. So like,
I know what I would have done.
Assault bike.
Yeah, I would have put on a fucking, this is seriously what I would have done if I was the leader of the free world. I would have put on one of those banana hammocks that Sam Dancer wears. And I would have shown the world how out of shape I was. And I would have moved out of the White House and moved onto the front lawn of the White House in a tent that was clear. So you could always see me at all times, except for a little room to have sex in or masturbate. And then I would show everyone what I'm eating every single day and how I'm exercising. And I would hold all my meetings in that little banana, and I would let like my old kind of gross body, let the world show it kind of tighten up a little bit. And I would do that, and I'd be like, I'm the living example of what you all need to do to stay healthy.
Yeah. No, I think that would have been the solution.
Right? No shit, right?
Yeah.
People are like, that's absurd. No, actually, I'd be meeting like with like the Shah from Iran, and I'd still be in the banana hammock. Hello, sir. Welcome to my table. It'd just be like a little table outside. Secret Service would be all around in 3-piece suits.
The pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have had people like you and Justin over.
Yeah. You should run for president.
You can't handle me.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if you would have got past that banana hammock before the guys in the suits would have carted you away.
Is it I would always be getting checked. They would always think I had a gun in there, a big gun. When Tier approaches you, do you have a relationship? Like, how does that work? Do they just send you a check, or do you know someone there? Do you like working for them? How does
Yeah. They obviously have like people that deal with the athletes. So I went to dinner with, when I was actually in Miami still, I went to dinner with one of the guys there.
And what is he? Is he high up, or does that guy still work there, or is he?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I don't want to like say a role that he's not in, but I think he's like athlete. Like, I don't even know what you would call it.
He's in charge of the athletes.
Yeah.
The relationships. Okay.
Yeah. And so sat down, and he sort of just like explained the company, what they are, and sort of what I would be looking for. And then, you sort of just like, we built the relationship up, and I decided that it was a company that I really wanted to work with. And
why is that? I'm going to be kind of a dick here. Is it a company you wanted to work with because of the check? Because the shoes fit you nicely? Like, how do you decide that?
I think being a up and coming athlete, I really liked the idea of working with brands that were up and coming also, and like getting the opportunity to grow with them. They were still like developing, and they still are like developing products and things like that. And I liked the idea that I could be a part of that and give them real feedback, and they could use that to make their products better in the future. And so like, I didn't just want to be like another athlete on a roster. Like I wanted to be involved in the process, so that it fit with them really well.
Is the guy who's the liaison between the athletes and the company, was he a former professional athlete?
He competed in CrossFit actually.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he was on a team, I want to say. And I think a couple years like was at the games on a team. And then I think he does triathlons and things now as well. It's
a beautiful shoe.
Yeah.
How's that toe box?
They've nailed the shoes actually. They've done a really good job.
God, I hope it's like have you ever worn the Nanos? Nano 2?
I have not, no.
How's that toe box? Your toes? I can't wear any of the other shoes because the toe boxes are too narrow. Do you have wide feet?
I do. And no, I really like it. Especially the lifters. The lifters are like really good for wide feet.
I see Colton wearing them, and I have to guess his feet are like this wider than they are long, just by looking at his body. So I'm guessing that they would fit me.
Yeah. No, they've definitely like tried to accommodate that for sure.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And they've come on hard. They got a ton of athletes.
Yeah, they did definitely like work to get their shoe out there. I think I remember lining up. I think it was for like the Capital event. We all had our runners on. And I think there was like 20 of us in the line, and I think like 17 of us had tier runners on.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. Oh, look how skinny that guy is. Holy cow.
Swimmers.
Yeah, that guy needs to talk to you.
Yeah. Need to get some training in.
Need some squats.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do like a athlete day where all the swimmers and CrossFitters get together, share tips.
So you get quarantined, you land in one province and you're quarantined for 2 weeks. And then when you get out, you drive to the other one yourself, or your bus there? They try to keep control of you?
No, because I had to fly. So I was like put in a special like shuttle to the airport, and then I flew back to Adelaide, and I hadn't seen my family or anyone for like close to 6 weeks. And I remember getting to the airport and I wasn't allowed to see them, like I wasn't allowed to like go near them. And it had been like an emotional journey. So they were standing on the other side of a glass wall, and I just sort of had to like wave to them as they were escorting me to another hotel.
Like some weird like Netflix show. It's like Black Mirror shit. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like they knew what I'd like. Obviously, I also felt as though I didn't get an opportunity to celebrate being at the games for my first time, because it was like I came home. It was like our flights back to Australia kept getting cancelled and pushed back. So it was like stressful trying to get a flight. And then when we eventually got a flight, it was like flying back straight into quarantine, and then a second quarantine. And so like once this whole process was done, it was like, oh yeah, I went to the games. Like
now it's a bigger deal that you're out of quarantine that you went to the games.
Yeah, I was just happy to see everyone. Like I didn't really get the opportunity to celebrate the fact that I'd just been to the games with my friends and family. Like it wasn't a big thing. Which
you didn't, and you did you break out of your second quarantine in Adelaide?
I broke out of the hotel. So they were going to make me do another hotel, which was like we paid for the hotel. So it was like $3,000 per hotel
goodness.
Visit. So I'd already paid for one, and they were going to make me do another one. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, let me out. And same thing, like I pretty much just like pestered them. And my brothers had to move out of my house at home so I could quarantine there, because that was the only way they were going to let me like do it at home, which they very unwillingly did.
I don't believe you. I think that was all a show and that they actually stayed there.
My brothers?
Yeah, but you can't say that because you don't want to get them in trouble.
No, they definitely moved out.
They did?
Yeah. So it was just me and my dog for another 2 weeks. But it was way better than obviously doing it in another hotel room with no fresh air, no, like you can't move anywhere. At least I have a bit of a garage gym set up at home, so I could at least do a few things. And when I was actually in the hotel in Sydney, I had some like really nice people drop me off a bike and some like dumbbells.
Who are those nice people? Who does that?
These guys were from a gym called Rec Gym. And
you don't even know them. They just know that one of their country mates is.
Yeah. Like I know of them. I'd never met them in person before. But like we sort of, everyone in the Australian CrossFit community, I think knows everyone. Like we're pretty close knit that way. So I'd sort of just like they'd seen that I was stuck in a hotel, and they offered.
And they just roll what? So I'm guessing they can't see you. They just find out you're there. They go to the front desk. They're like, "Hey, we have a package for Ellie," and they throw some dumbbells and a bike up there.
Yeah.
Man, those dudes are cool.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah, they're really amazing people.
That's the kind of stuff I would do, by the way. If you live near me, I would have done that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm cool as shit like that. Those dudes are cool too. Maybe, what's the name of their gym?
Rec Gym.
Rec Gym, REC?
Yeah.
Are they a CrossFit gym? Are they affiliated?
I think so.
Maybe let's contact them and have them on, Susan. They must be good dudes.
Yeah, they're good.
When
they would like that.
When I go to there's this lady who sponsors the show. She is the owner of California Hormones, and when I go to Newport to stay at her house, she has a house there on the beach. It's so nice. It's so cool. She always brings 30-pound dumbbells, and it's upstairs in a condo. And she just brings those over. And I always think, wow, that's so fucking thoughtful. And me and my wife, like, we don't work out with 30-pound dumbbells at home, but it's all we have.
Yeah.
We go nuts. We just, you just start making up all sorts of shit with what you have.
Yeah.
But it's so nice having some stuff to work with.
Oh, for sure. I was still in a period where I wasn't technically, I was still having time off after the games, but there was nothing else to do. So it was nice to have that to just take some time out of my day just to do some sort of movement.
Is there anyone in your family that's abnormally, that you from a young age that was abnormally strong, or you saw this? Greg says, hey, people would be like, I don't want to, you would hear girls say, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to do CrossFit. And my response to those people is, first of all, you don't have the work ethic to get bulky, so shut the fuck up. But it's really that shows a huge sign of some sort of mental disorder, because you're given a body, and there's only one person that you should really try to love the whole time you're here on planet Earth and accept, and that's you. And you work out, and your DNA is just going to express itself. And we're not having you do weird shit. We're having you squat and stand up and lift shit over your head. It's not like you're sitting there doing curls all day. And so your DNA is there anyone in your family that now that your DNA is fully expressing itself, you're like, oh shit, I see it.
Yeah.
Uncle Joe, now that makes sense.
No, I think so. I'm very much like my dad in terms of my build, and I've always resented it because I've always been the muscly girl, but I've always been very athletic. And I've always battled with that. And then in 2017, when I and Cara battled out in the final, I obviously both of those girls were Aussie, so I saw them in the media and I was like, that's pretty amazing. I think that's what I was meant to do. And then got into CrossFit, tried it out, and 4 years later I was competing with them.
Your audio went out. I know your audio went out a little bit. Can you tell that story again? I heard Cara, but can you tell me even in more detail where you were? How did you see the TV? What you thought when you saw Cara? And I didn't hear the other girl's name. Was it Tia or Maddie Stewart? Or okay.
Yeah, Tia. So when they were battling it out in the 2017 final, I saw that I tried CrossFit a couple weeks before the games. So I'd already tried it, but then I didn't know you could compete in CrossFit. And then when I saw those games, and obviously it was pretty big in the Australian community to have both of those girls at the top. So everyone at the gym was talking about it, and I happened to watch it, and I saw both of those strong, amazing females. And I just saw the emotion that they had felt out there, and I just instantly knew that that's what I needed to do.
Did you and I'm projecting onto you here. I don't know how appropriate this is. Not in that sense of appropriate, but if I'm spot on or not, nothing I say is appropriate. Did you ever apologize to your dad, even though he may have not known? Did you ever say, hey, I resented you when I should have said thank you for this body?
Yeah, I mean, we joke about it all the time.
Oh, good.
It's like he knew that I wasn't like at terms with my body, but I think everyone sort of knew that one day I would be, because like now I like love my legs because obviously I can squat like a fair bit of weight.
And you can run like damn, you can run.
Yeah, I'd say it still needs some work, but
but dude, it's crazy what a good runner you are. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, before CrossFit, I didn't compete in running or anything, but I enjoyed running and I did like a fair bit of it. So, but yeah, I'm very grateful for the build that I have. And yeah, I've got 4 brothers, and we're all sort of like built very similar.
Are they doing CrossFit, your brothers?
No, they like so there's like an older one, then there's me, and then I've got 3 younger.
You're the second oldest child.
I am.
Oh, so what you're doing is important. How old's the youngest?
Like I want to say like 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Around that age, it's all sort of like the same age, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think around 14. But there's like the top. Is the
14-year-old a sister or a brother?
She's a sister. But the top 3 of us are all like from the same mum and dad.
Okay.
And then the bottom 3 are half siblings.
Moms or dads?
One of them is from my mom and stepdad, and then a girl and a boy is from my dad and stepmom.
Okay. Are you close with all of them?
Yeah.
Because the 14-year-old's kind of like falling behind. You're 10 years older.
Yeah. I would say that like I grew up with when my parents divorced, like I moved with my mum. And then so us, like the 3 kids that were, you know, already like from my mum and dad, and then the kid that she had with her husband, I'd say that we're all super close. Obviously, I didn't grow up with the girl and boy that my dad had with his partner, so it's not like the same, but we're all still like, we all get along really well. Yeah, it's just not quite the same as growing up with someone 24/7 as opposed to just seeing them on a few weekends.
How old were you when your parents separated?
Like 5.
Oh, so pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was probably 3. I think my sister was 5. I think the older you are, probably the harder it is.
Yeah, my older brother was like 7 or 8, and I think it was definitely hard, like a lot harder on him at the time.
Do you have any? My sister has some really well. She had kids first. My sister had kids before me, and she started having really strong thoughts and convictions about separating. Has that happened to you? Do you think about that? Like if you have kids I'll never do that no matter what, or do you have any strong? Have you?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Were you ever into drinking or drugs or anything?
No, like not heavily. I definitely went through like a party phase when I was sort of like, I'd say like 16 onwards to like 19 was when I found CrossFit. So it was sort of like a few years of, you know, going out and drinking, but like nothing crazy.
Just the normal stuff.
Yeah.
Just that the kids did.
Yeah.
On Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
Have a beer at the park.
Maybe drink too much, throw up.
Yeah.
God, I hated that. I'm so glad I don't do anything like that anymore.
Yeah. It was enough to like make me appreciate not doing it. Like, it was enough to just like give me a good fix of it, and then like, okay, I can move on with the rest of my life now, you know.
Yeah. Did you lose any friends to drugs? Like, have friends in your circle who like got into meth, and then next thing you know, they kill someone and they're in jail? No.
I did not. No. Pretty lucky like that.
I think everyone sort of, well, I don't know. I never asked Sousa this. Maybe I should ask Matt this. But I feel like a lot of people, I don't know if I never resented my parents for my body, but there were things that I think everyone, there's parts of their body they don't like, no matter who they are, right? Like, there's no one, like, you don't see someone, I don't think there's anyone, like, even all these people, even these people, you know, there's these women who have these Instagram accounts. There's shitload of them. I guess there's men too, but Instagram seems to think that I want to see the women more. And you click, they're basically, they have had tons of plastic surgery. They're really thin, big boobs. And it's just their whole profile is just shitloads of pictures of them. And they have 2.3 million followers. And like all the comments are just hearts, or can you marry me, or just shit like that. They don't even look like real human beings. But probably those women, when I look at those, I'm thinking they're probably the least happy with their body.
Yeah.
Because they really need some affirmation.
Yeah. I would say the people that sometimes people you think are the most confident are usually the most insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just a natural part of adolescence.
Yeah.
My nose is too big. My fingers are too long. I'm
too
tall. I mean, there's girls who think that they're too tall. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I think it's definitely I
would love a girl who's 6'5" or 7'8".
7'8".
Whatever. The bigger, the better. I would just fuck.
Yeah.
Is that, and you went through that? Well, you're going through it. I don't think it kind of like never, I'm 50 and it never really completely goes away.
Mm-mm.
No. I think every female.
Sorry, go ahead, Ellie.
I was going to say every female, or like every male, especially, like, doesn't really matter gender, goes through a period of trying to find out who they are, and also like questioning who they are. Like, you're still trying to find like your way in the world, and then you're so influenced by all the external factors around you, even like your friendship group. If you're in a different friendship group at school, you might turn out a completely different person, you know, like, and I think that's a big like shaping period of your life. It doesn't have to like indicate where you're going to end up, obviously, but I think it definitely like makes you sort of like have to choose a path either way, you know.
You're this person who had a Ferrari in their garage, and all they ever wanted was an empty garage, and you fought it and fought it and fought it, and then one day you're like, fuck it, I guess I'll just be a race car driver, and now you fucking got the cool car.
Pretty much.
It's crazy. The whole time it was just in your garage,
just waiting.
Hey, and there's no one who could tell you. There's no one who knew either. That's the other thing. It was all, you did it all yourself. No one could be like, hey, that's a Ferrari, you should get in it and become a race car driver. No one even knew.
I would have been like, no, like, you tell me to do something, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, that's interesting. Susan, what the fuck do you know about not liking yourself? What are you talking about?
Everybody has things that they're insecure about.
Tell me. I want to hear one of yours. Just one.
Like one of my insecurities?
Yeah. Let me hear one that someone made fun of you as a kid. See? I'm telling you, you ask Ellie and I that, and we're like 5 will fall out of our mouth. My nose, my penis is too big. I'm too short. I mean, I just 3. Boom.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never really had to battle that too much. So I guess the seed was never planted. Although
Ellie,
I get some gray hairs coming in.
Good. Ellie, did you ever have a pet and your house stunk like pets, and you didn't want people over to your trailer park because then you were embarrassed about the way your house smelled?
No. The only dogs that I've had are like the hypoallergenic dogs, so they don't really have a dog smell. And then I'm not a cat person, so.
Hypoallergenic dogs. I don't know what the fuck that means. Do those bite?
No.
No,
They're
those
friendly.
dogs
They're like big teddy bears.
You lived with your siblings.
I live with 2 of my brothers, yes.
How does that happen?
So we all went to boarding school because we were from the country. So we went down to Adelaide to get a better education.
In high school?
Then, yeah, from like year 10 onwards, year 10, 11, 12. And then from there, we all just like moved out of the school when we graduated and went to university. And so my mum and stepdad had a house that they owned but didn't live in for when like they'd come down and visit us at school and whatnot. So we all moved out into that place and like studied, went to university and live there. I think like obviously the plan is like we're getting our own places, but like it's definitely when you're 17 and graduated high school, like we didn't want to go back to Moonta because there's not a lot of opportunities there. And it was like my parents' way of like supporting us through university. They were happy that we were, going and furthering our education. So they were happy to support us in that way.
The crazy shit must happen at boarding school.
Yeah, but in Australia, like boarding school, I was trying to explain it to Justin because he was like, boarding school, isn't that for like really naughty kids?
Yeah.
But in like it's at like a private school, like it's a pretty prestigious thing to do.
I hear you. But if you have boys, were there boys there?
There was, yeah.
Yeah, so crazy shit happened.
Yeah. I mean, I was like very studious.
You were.
So
would you say you were a dork?
No. I was like, I don't
quiet.
know. I was very driven to get good grades, but I wasn't like all into my study, but I just knew when I wouldn't go out and like party with the rest of the year because I had homework to do.
Have you ever been in a relationship where you thought you were going to get married?
No.
And is
not yet.
Right, not yet. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. You got a lot of time for that. And when you met Justin, did you have a boyfriend?
No.
Oh wow, how convenient.
Yeah.
And were you interested in? Did you have a conviction that you didn't want a boyfriend? Like, hey, I need to stay focused on athletics. I'm not going to let boys come into my life.
No, it wasn't like
either way
decision that I made. I wasn't going to like turn it down if it came up, but it just, when you're at the gym for most of your life, the only place you're going to meet someone is at the gym, really. And so like I wasn't out searching for anyone, but if someone happened to like stumble into my life, I wasn't against it. But yeah, that was just all sort of worked out.
Yeah, just because it's people will have these walls up that not allowing that type of interaction.
Yeah, I think I definitely probably had walls up unintentionally.
Right.
That I like have been told that I probably had up by like the people that knew me well, but I didn't intentionally have walls up.
If my wife's having a bad day, it affects me like pretty dramatically. And I view myself as being like a cat, kind of. I'm very I don't know what for lack of a better word, selfish. I can keep really, really strong in my little egg, like bulletproof, but not with her. That there's no. I don't know where she starts and I start and I end and she ends. It's just one. You know what I mean? Like if she does, if she gets rattled, I'm rattled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it has to be like that way in a relationship, but in a relationship with someone like Justin, where there's two people and there's so much on the line with your, you know, like someone goes to work. Let's say I'm some sort of fucking executive at Starbucks and my wife has a bad day and I have a bad day and I go to work. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm still just making sure that the dairy farm's producing cream and that the beans are getting sent here and there. But it can't be that way for you two, right?
I mean,
or can it?
Like we're normal people, so like it's probably going, like we're no different than everyone else. But I think we're both clear that like we both have pretty big goals in life, and we're both clear that we're moving towards those. And at the end of the day, like when we're in competitors mode, like they take priority, especially like in something like the games. And so we're both on the same terms of like during a week like that, it's like we're there to do it. That's our work time. So like we're there to do a job and that comes first. So like throughout the season, I think it just takes like communication and like getting used to one another. But like, yeah, I think we're normal people, so that still happens. But I think having like a clear goal definitely helps like move through that.
And just the sheer math complicates it. So if Justin's just working in a bubble by himself, right? It's just he has to just worry about like his best friend getting hit by a car and going to a funeral, or he just has to worry about him whatever happens in his life, right? But now he's with you and you're like, my best friend in Australia is getting married, I'm going to the wedding, come with me. Or he's like, I see all of these chances for like wasted energy, like people, but on the other hand, there must be some benefits too.
Yeah, no, I think we're both on the same page in terms of like, I know that if anything is going to affect his training and like his competing, like I wouldn't ask that of him. And like
why didn't you text me? Why didn't you text me? Well, because I was at Rogue, baby. Well, I was watching in between event 2 and 3. You could have easily texted me. I mean, this is the way the world works. And this is the way the world works now. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
I would fucking kill someone if they said that to me. If my wife said to me, why didn't you text me? I'd be like, because I was interviewing Ellie Turner. So, well, you could have just been like, hold on a minute. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think that's where the benefit of us both being in this world comes at an advantage, because we both know what it takes and like what it's like. That, I mean, I wouldn't want to get in the way of his like competing and training, and like hopefully vice versa. So like I would never, if he's got sponsor obligations or if he's like got to travel for a competition or what, like I would never get in the way of that. And you just know like when just a little bit more, like it's just because I'm experiencing the same thing.
So 2 days before he goes to a competition, you're not going to be like, Justin, just so you know, yesterday I saw you looking through my phone and reading my texts. You'd wait till he came back. Like even that, you would wait.
Yeah.
You just suck it up and be like, hey,
suck it up.
The competition takes a precedent over everything. Hey, I saw you talking. I saw the way you looked at whoever. I saw the way you looked at Annie Thor's daughter.
And that probably works better, because sometimes when you have couples that don't have that deep understanding, they start to, well, you care more about your competition than me. Well, you care more about your sponsors than me. Well, you care more about answering the DMs of your fans than me. And so at least you guys have that mutual understanding of what it takes, because that's where I think the real conflicts arise with the couples, not the ones that understand and give each other space, but the ones that feel like they're competing for the other's attention, and whatever they're doing is taking up too much of it. Yeah,
for sure.
My wife, no matter where if I'm going in to do a podcast and let's say we're fighting, she'll bury it and just be like, give me a kiss. I love you. Good luck. And it's like, I need that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if I'm mad at her, even if I just did something like was just fucking losing my shit and throwing passion fruit around the house. You know what passion fruit is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. Big in Australia?
Yeah, we put it's like pretty common to put on like the top of a pavlova.
A what?
Which it's like a cake. It's like an Australian cake, a pavlova. It's like pretty much just like whipped egg white and sugar, and then
Sounds
we
like
drizzle like.
Sounds like a female part of the female anatomy, the pavlova.
Well, it's a very popular, like, yeah, there you go. You put like fresh whipped cream and fresh fruit. It's very common in like summer, like at Christmas, because our Christmas is in summer.
I imagine that to be cold and refrigerated.
Yeah, it does need to be refrigerated, but like the crust of it is hard and crunchy, so it can actually sit out for a little bit.
I took my wife to the doctor the other day, and she got a pavlova. She got a pavlova. It's cool. I just thought I could be there for her. You won an event at the CrossFit Games.
I did. Yeah, I would have liked it to be more, but take what you can get, I guess.
God, you're greedy. It's crazy that the hat trick.
Yeah.
And what's cool is you beat Tia. The thing is with Tia is that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there's only going to be so many shots at her.
Yeah.
And she's so special. It's almost nonsense that we do shows of who's the greatest ever. I mean,
yeah,
whoever's the greatest ever, she's also the greatest ever. It's like, when you'd be like, hey, I saw this guy at the university. He's the hottest guy I've seen. And someone's like, you said that yesterday. It's like, yeah, there's 20 dudes here who are the hottest guys. Like, what am I going to do? It's a 20-way tie. Tia is at the top, no matter who you put up there.
Yeah. No, she's incredible.
And you got to beat her.
I did. I think I'm
in the first heat, in the ass. You were in the ass heat, right?
Yeah, I was in the ass heat. We don't need to touch on that.
All right. But it's still crazy to do it from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, will you tell us what that workout is for people who don't know?
So it was 3 rounds.
People like me.
In a 2-minute window, you had to complete like a sprint down to the rig, and then it was 20 11-foot wall balls, and then 6 dumbbell squat snatches, and then sprint to the finish. And then you got 4 minutes rest, and you had to repeat like 3 times, and then it was your accumulated time.
Your splits each round, did anyone beat you in any of those?
I don't think so, no.
So cool. And did they go ahead?
I was just gonna say, I think I made up like most of my time on the wall balls. Like I do have a very fast like cycle speed. So I think like once I got off the rig, it was just like, as long as I didn't screw up a snatch, it was like I was pretty good to go.
How much were the dumbbell snatches?
That was 70 pounds.
Any concerned about that weight?
The first round, you never really like you're standing in the crowds for a little bit, and like you cool down a little bit. So I was a little hesitant on the first round, but then once I had a feel for it, I was like, nah, we'll be sweet.
70-pound dumbbell. You're just a little girl.
Big girl.
That dumbbell is only 10 or 20 pounds less than what you used to weigh when you started CrossFit.
Yeah. Chucking myself around.
It's awesome.
Holy smokes. It's 5 years of just straight accumulated work, just grinding in the gym.
Yeah. I think that was like the biggest thing for me, was just being consistent. Like no matter what, I'd always just get the work done. And I think a lot of people sort of like chop and change programming and like try and look for those like almost easy fixes, but it's literally just like, just do work, like, and do it consistently, and it'll pay off in like long term.
How old were you when you went through puberty? Do you remember?
Probably like 12, 13.
And you didn't start CrossFit until you were how old?
19.
19. Damn. It's weird that girls go through I don't know much about girls going through puberty, but I just saw this video that Andrew Hiller made about a guy named Clarence Kennedy. Are you familiar with who that is?
No.
And it shows him. He there's this video compilation of him starting to work out when he's 12, and he's so skinny. He's just this fucking stick boy. And basically, when he's 17 and he goes through puberty, and that year, that 17, I mean, he gets strong the whole time. But when he's from 17 to 18, he starts like clean and jerking like 500 pounds, and he's still a petite guy. I mean, he's not like a giant dude at all. And I wonder what the year is for women if it's this guy. I mean, look at this guy. There's a great video. This is 585. I'm sorry.
I think guys are a little bit different in terms of like going through puberty because they've got like a whole heap of testosterone like flooding their system. So like that time they might be like some of the strongest they'll ever be because they've got all this testosterone, which then like decreases as they get older, obviously. Whereas
I really like driving that home. I really like this theme. As they get older,
the old people.
Yeah.
Everything just gets worse.
And when's the peak for women? Do you know when is there an age? Is it
Never.
after you have maybe it's after you have a baby?
It's like women are at their peak physiological state in like late 20s, early 30s. I mean, it's a little bit like individual. So there's not exact like age, but like late 20s, early 30s is when we're like at our strongest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense too.
Mm-hmm.
For some of your behaviors in the women in their early 30s. It's a different show. I needed to get a specialty doctor on. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Christy Young. She knows 30s. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's kind of cool. You're 24 and you look down the timeline and you're just like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see an open highway.
Yeah.
And you just look at the speedometer on your Ferrari and you'd be like, I'll show you.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah. I'm excited.
And what are some of this? Could you even do one pull-up when you went into a CrossFit gym?
No, I was like purple band.
Purple band, the CrossFit Games.
Yeah. I had, when I started, I was so like adamant that I wanted a strict pull-up that at home, I put like a bar in our kitchen. And then every time I went in there, I had to do like a strict pull-up. And then, that's how I improved them.
Wow.
Going back to this workout, this hat trick. Oh, how long did it take you to get a strict pull-up?
No, I progressed pretty quickly. Probably like a few weeks to a month.
That's crazy.
That's
hey,
amazing.
when you first tried, could you even get the bar to your head, or was it just kind of like?
Yeah, no,
she went.
I was probably pausing like there.
Okay. It's nuts. Wow. And were you excited when you got your first pull-up? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was like excited for about a second, and then I was like, sweet, now I want 10.
Oh,
now I want to muscle up.
Not 2, 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to understand you more.
That's the problem with those high achievers. They're never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
When you were doing the hat trick, you had to do 2 dumbbell snatches and then move forward, right, to the next 2.
Mm-hmm.
If it would have been just all 6 in a row, would you have been fine with that? Would you have preferred that? Could you have just done 6 with 70, no problem?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, especially like given games adrenaline. I mean, I'd say I'd probably be able to do that in training, but when you're out there on the games floor, like it definitely, you do things that you never thought were possible.
Do you know what your PR dumbbell snatch is?
No, the heaviest I've done is probably maybe 80, but like never tested it out.
Yeah, PR dumbbell snatch. That's an interesting one.
What
a little bit sketchy to do, I think.
I used to do that. That was like
Build
one of my
up to
things.
a 1 RM.
Yeah. I wasn't very good at it. And I would literally go to this like meathead gym, this juicer gym, in Berkeley. It was cool. And I would literally start with the 5-pound dumbbell.
Wow.
And just work all the way up. I never
Both
made it.
arms?
I got to 100. Yeah, I never got to 110. Yeah, both arms.
It's impressive.
Thank you.
Was that when you were younger?
I was younger. Yes, I was in my 30s. Yes, I was younger.
I see.
I saw Heber the other day do like 20 snatches or 30 snatches with a 70-pound dumbbell. Like, oh my goodness! And he doesn't even go to the ground. He's like just swinging it between his legs. I think that would like break me fucking in half. What's the heaviest dumbbell you have at Fort Vancouver?
Ooh. Maybe like, I don't know. Justin's got some pretty heavy ones that he has there. Probably like, I want to say like 120, 130.
Can you hear my dog barking?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
I
bad?
can't.
Oh,
It's not terrible.
should I close the door?
No, it's stopped now too.
Yeah, it'll start back up. I kind of last night at like 3 a.m, my neighbor's dog was barking.
Mm.
So now I kind of don't mind that my dog's barking at 8 a.m. on a Sunday.
Get him back.
Yeah. Ah, yes. Ellie, how long after the games before you were normal, like mentally and physically, like when you lick your wounds and you come out kind of the other side?
Like this year?
Yeah.
I mean, I had 3 weeks off of just doing nothing, which is the longest I've had.
And where are you for that?
We were in California.
Okay.
At Justin's parents' place.
Oh, so she went.
Shit.
She went to the Lodi.
You went to Lodi for 3 weeks.
The 209.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the same as being quarantined. Holy shit.
Snuck another one in there, didn't she?
Yeah. This is great. How does he take? And had you ever been to Lodi before?
No.
So he's like, "Hey, come back to my parents' place after the games."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Actually.
It's a good place. Tell me about it. What did you like about it?
It was nice weather. It's nice and hot.
Yes.
Definitely.
Very hot.
I like the country feel.
Yes.
Like I do like small city living, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. I didn't see a lot of Lodi, but
there's not much
from
to
what
see.
I did.
You saw it all.
Yeah. Went down one couple streets and good to go.
Does Justin still have his bedroom at the house that he liked when he lived at home there in high school?
Yeah.
And that's where you guys stayed?
Yeah.
Like Ninja Turtle sheets and everything.
Dude, yeah.
No, it was actually funny, like seeing all the, you know, like you go back to someone's place and you've got like the family photos and things like that. So it was nice to see.
That's cool.
So you're there for 3 weeks, and you guys don't do any training?
Oh.
Just hung out.
Yeah.
Was that hard?
No, it was nice actually. Yeah.
Did you ride on that little motorcycle he bought in previous years with his prize money? That little Honda thing?
A Honda Monkey.
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't.
What?
Yeah.
It's a two-seater, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not a daredevil. It's too risky for me.
Oh no, Justin's a good boy. He would be so chill with you on the back.
Yeah. No, it was just like they've got a beautiful house there. So we just hung by the pool and, you know, played some basketball and frisbee and just really did what we wanted. It was nice.
There's a video of him doing a backflip and he lands on his face. And I asked him, I said, who is the camera person for that? He goes, Ellie. I said, dude, she didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Are you sure she likes you?
No, because I actually told him not to do it.
Okay.
Because I was like, risk benefit here. Like, I don't know if this is
risk assessor.
Yeah.
I approve of that. I think that's a healthy relationship. Good. I'm glad there's people.
And so then when he did it and landed on like almost his head, I was like, told you.
Awesome.
This is warm up for it here.
Yeah.
Is it intimidating at all training with him?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Look at your camera work is just amazing.
Coaches and agents are just freaking out when they see that.
Yeah.
And so how about in the beginning, was it intimidating early on?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I mean, I didn't feel like I had anything to prove, but it was like nerve-wracking going in and just like not knowing what to expect. And then like I'd been there, literally flew in at like, I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning, flew in. He picked me up from the airport and was like, we've actually got a mile time trial today. And so I hadn't eaten, gotten up early, and I was like, okay. So just like went to the track, did a mile time trial. And I guess it was probably good because it probably shook the nerves off a little bit. And I was like, oh, it's sweet. Like, it's just normal training.
And you did it too.
I did it too. I mean, I didn't have to. Like, I think him and Adam sort of said, like, we understand if you don't want to. But then I was like, well, I can't just say no to these guys. Like, I'm not going to be a little wimp. So I did it.
So sorry, I must tend to my fans. Yeah. I did it right and left-handed. I want to say maybe I did even more, but I don't want to lie. I want to say maybe I did 110 or 120 maybe at one point. But I'm kind of a dumbbell guy. I'm more of a dumbbell guy. My body prefers a dumbbell over a bar. Bar's too restrictive.
What happens when you get old there, Ellie? See?
I'm free flowing.
Old mobility.
I did not start at 5 pounds and end at 35. This is not correct. This is not correct. I was actually the other day I was I don't know, 6 months ago, I was inspired by, I forget her name. Do you Anon Manganese, is that her name? Do you know who that is? The athlete from Europe. Anyway, she was between her and she was touching going, I think like 100 or 150 pound bag. And then with Heber doing those 70 pound snatches, I was like, okay, I'm going to start snatching like a mofo again.
Yeah.
So what was your mile time?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
That always happens with these athletes we have on. No one ever remembers their PRs or their mile times.
Well, I know it was a PR because I'd never done a mile before, because we don't do those in Australia. We don't operate in miles.
Oh.
It's a default
So I'll
PR.
give you that. Yeah,
that's good. I like that for sure. How about this kind of this narrative you have, the story? It's similar to Sarah Sigmund's daughter, you know? I think she has similar, like, although she knew she was strong. I want to say when I interviewed her, she has a similar story, and I wonder how many girls have that similar story. But in the early years, Greg would talk about that a lot, about how women would come in with eating disorders and working out would doing CrossFit would make it kind of go away. Like you start focusing on the right thing. Do you feel like when you hear your story, you're like, yeah, I've heard this story before?
No. I think I've got when I'm like ready to tell my whole story, I think it's a pretty unique one.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah. It's definitely something that I look back on, and it's like a different lifetime.
Is one of the reason, I mean, obviously it's intense and it's personal, but is another reason maybe you don't want to share it because you use it to fuel you and you don't want to let it out?
I mean, I think part of the reason was I don't want people to think that I'm using it as an excuse or as like ways to get my name out there. Like it's not that at all. I want to people to know me for what I achieve in CrossFit and in CrossFit alone, and then have that, like, you know, that be like, yep, I've also been through this and still achieved what I have. I don't want it to be the other way around.
I like it.
That's awesome.
It's not that you're afraid to be vulnerable, but or that you're using it to drive you. It's that you want to make your you don't want that to be the cake and then your CrossFit career to be the icing. You want your CrossFit career to be the cake, and then, oh, by the way, here's some candles for you.
Yeah. And I think it's getting better, but people still treat you differently when they find out about mental illnesses.
Yeah.
And I want to, be known for my CrossFit, and then eventually I want to help others that have been through similar things to me. Like, I'm not scared of being vulnerable now. Like, I'm not scared of talking about it, and people close to me know that, but it's like, it's not something that I'm ready to share quite yet.
I don't know how to explain. I used to ask this question. I kind of haven't never asked it the way I'm going to ask you, but I used to ask the question like this. Did you have something happen in your past that you used to fuel you? So like you know, like when I've talked to Rich, I've heard that some of those stories. Talked to Matt, I've heard some of those stories. Talked to Jason Klepa, I've heard some of those stories. And those stories would be like, you know, the story that Jason told was at his high school graduation, his principal in front of the whole fucking school openly fucking bashed him for not being smart. Yeah. And he said that so dramatically impacted him that he was like, fuck you, I'll show you guys. And you know, and Rich had some deaths in the family that were with people who was extremely close to. And then there's even Mike Tyson. They said, hey, do you want to you should go to a shrink and get that fixed. And he said, no, that's what if they fix that, I wouldn't be the killer that I am. And CrossFit is so, you could say uncomfortable, but choose whatever you want, intense. There's an effort that has to be put in to become who you are, who Ellie Turner is. That is it before you did CrossFit, is that intensity familiar to you because of your past? Like, if I didn't, do you know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to match some intensity in your daily workout that was an experience you had somewhere else?
I'd say there's definitely been multiple experiences that have shaped where I am today, and I use that to move me forward. I can't think of like a single incident, but like those incidences together have formed like my drive now. And I think like moving forward, like in a workout, like that's something that I'll probably continue to use, like, to get me to where I want to go.
Like, so you intellectualize, and you'll hear a voice talk to you during a workout where you leverage some incident in your life to be like, hey, I can make it through this.
No, not specifically. I think it's more of like the way I am now. Like, it's, I know that I'm not a quitter. So like, in a workout, that's just not an option. Like, it's not an option to pull back. It's not an option to like not give my all, because the experiences that I've been through have like made me into that sort of person. Like, I'm now someone that, like, I'm just grateful to be here and grateful to be like doing what I love, that like this is, it's my choice to be doing this, and like I know that I'm going to be giving it my all every single time.
And anything else besides Rogue you'll do this year?
Rogue, Down Under, and then reassess from there.
Do you have any resentments too strong, but frustration with the fact that like you come out of Australia and T is there and there's all these other monsters down there? I mean, in your young career, one of your greatest achievements has to be coming out of that region. I mean, it's I would say it's equal to winning an event at the games. It's nuts to be a woman and come out of that region. I mean, it's nuts to be a man and come out of that region, but you guys don't. Do you ever get frustrated, or can you not even think about that?
No, I think I'm grateful to come out of that region. Like, it's turned me into such a better athlete to go. I mean, I went up against some of the best athletes in the world at my semi-final. So like once I tackled that, it was like I'd done the hard yards. Like the games was just like another, like that was just a bonus sort of thing. And you know, you rise to the competition you're up against, like knowing that I'm going up against the best. You've got to bring your best in every single workout. So it was like, I think it brought the best out in me and does to the girls in our region. And that's what makes us so strong. And that's what keeps developing like such like great athletes out of the Oceania region. I do think it was a little bit like frustrating that we didn't get the amount of spots that I think we deserved, but obviously that wasn't in my control. But no, I think I'm like very lucky to get the opportunity to compete against those girls. And like, you want to compete against the best. Like, you don't want to win against people that you know you can beat. You want to compete against girls that are going to challenge you and are going to make you really fight for it. So no, I think I'm very lucky.
This is 2020. You took 6th place. This is for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, by the way, Ellie Turner's from Australia. Australia has an enormous population of CrossFitters there, but for some reason they only get to send 3 female and 3 male athletes to the CrossFit Games every year. Is that correct, Ellie?
Yeah, it used to be when I was back in like regionals, which like was before I started competing. I think we still got 5 spots, but ever since going to like the semi-final format, we're down to 3. And this competition that you're showing now, like that was my first major competition.
Wow.
And the problem with that, guys, is they have Cara Saunders and Tia Toomey down there. And then a super veteran who's also been to the game, Madeline Sturt.
And so Jamie Green.
Oh, and Jamie Green, right. I mean, you have all women who are better, who are top 20 finishers at the CrossFit Games. I mean, it's nuts. It's absolutely frustrating. Because it's frustrating because as fans, we want to see all of you. Oh, how do I switch to semifinals? Okay, change the name. Okay. And then here you come to let's see. Is it this one? Torian Pro? And we switch to the girls. Boys to girls. Tia Toomey, Cara Saunders, Ellie Turner, and Madeline Sturt. Man, Madeline was hunting you down.
She was.
That was close.
Very close.
Are you tripping here? Like, what's this final event like for you?
I remember I was very nervous, but also weirdly calm. Like, when I think back to like what was on the line now, I'm like, whoa, like I should have been even more nervous than what I was. I knew obviously it finished with like 10 deadlifts, like heavy. And I knew that Maddie, she would have one of the best deadlifts in the females field, like in the world. Like, her deadlifts are insane. And I knew I needed to sort of at least like stay close to her in the rankings. I knew the row was going to be no problem for me. It was just going to be like trying to hold off on the deadlifts. And she got in front of, she beat me in that event. And I didn't know if I'd done enough. And it was just like a waiting game until they called my name. But yeah, it was pretty intense.
Wow. You didn't know. Okay. And kind of the good news is what's interesting is here is she beat you by 4 seconds, but you beat the person after you by 5 seconds, Bailey Rogers.
Yeah.
And so, okay. Did you see Bailey Rogers while you were doing that?
I didn't.
No. Matt, I muted you just because there was a crazy hum. I hope coming from well, listen, let's see if you can hear it. Hear that? Peace. I think it just happened. Like your AC just turned on. It's 8:53 in the morning in Livermore. Now it's 100 degrees there. Livermore, California. The sandbag event. When you saw that, were you excited by that?
I was. I knew, like, obviously, I like strength events a little bit more than your high skill events. So, I was nervous because I'd never done like a heavy sandbag, and I don't think many of us had, probably apart from Danny Spiegel. And so it was like a little bit nerve-wracking, not sort of knowing where people were at and knowing that it could just be like a technique thing that could get in the way of like an event that I needed to capitalize on. Whereas if it was just a barbell, you can sort of like, you sort of know who's going to do well and who's not in a way. So yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking, but I was like excited to see like how heavy we could go. When I picked up the first bag, like in the warm-up area, I got nervous after that because it felt like really heavy. But then you get out on the floor and the adrenaline kicks in and it's just like, yeah, game on.
I can hear my neighbor yelling at my dog.
What did he say?
I don't know. I had just heard someone knock on the door. Come in, Justin. Oh no, you're in Squamish.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
When you're back there, do you and Justin talk technique at all? Does he tell you, like, after watching him go, he's since spoken that, like, you know, he didn't have any special, you know,
yeah,
just watch some YouTube videos, but did you guys prepare for that one together by any chance?
Yeah. I mean, we watched the like videos together.
You did? Okay.
But I don't know whether it was like, because he's got like slightly, like he's got longer arms than what I do. So like that technique worked a little bit better. I did try it and I didn't like it. I personally couldn't like get the hang of it quite as much as what he could. And so I just went with what I knew at that point.
Did that event injure you at all?
No, I actually pulled up. I thought my back was going to be sore just because of like the positions that it gets you in, but I actually pulled up really well from it.
I would see people throw it up and it like pushing on their neck and shit. And then afterwards, when they were done, they'd be like this.
Yeah. No, it did like your neck was sore, but it wasn't like bad sore, you know?
Dang. He really showed up for that one.
Yeah. Yep.
You think you're getting some, being with him, you're getting something that can't be, that you can't put your finger on from training with the champ, from like unconscious behaviors? Like, you know, like if you had a friend who always did this, that you would start doing this. I think there's ways that he moves or talks or thinks or.
Yeah, potentially. I haven't picked up on anything yet, but who knows?
Did your diet change? Did your diet change since you're around him? Like you're like, oh, I should really be eating this kind of oatmeal instead of this kind, or oh wow, he doesn't do bananas. No. That's weird.
If anything, it's probably like, yeah,
the other way around.
Yeah.
What if he wouldn't have won this year? Would you have like fucking been like, oh my God, that's my fault?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You would have owned a little bit of that. That's what I mean. Your guys' shit's all fucking intertwined and shit. I knew it. I knew it. I knew I'd get to the bottom. You guys are just regular people with emotional fucking. You guys are emotional octopus. All. I knew it. I think
like it would. If anyone knows us, they know that wouldn't have been the case.
Right.
But
I keep telling yourself that.
It's always in the back of your head. You're like, well, I'm the thing that changed. So
just a small little thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it didn't.
That's like this is gonna be a fucking harsh switch, but that was like when my wife had a miscarriage. I think she did the rower that morning, not even that hard, and all of a sudden she made that connection. The rower caused the miscarriage. I was like, nah, rower did not cause the miscarriage. But you make that.
The association happens quick.
Yeah. Oh, Susie, your audio is better. The AC went off?
Yeah, Grace, she turned it off for me.
She's a good dude.
Yeah.
Matt's married.
That's nice.
For 1 week.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's an important part. Yeah. For 1 week. He just got
like agent Daniel Robbins got married yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Did you go to...
No, I couldn't because I'm stuck.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I couldn't go to Matt's wedding either because I had a podcast.
He's gonna do it live from the event, but we changed our mind.
Are there any harsh things? I heard that for the hat trick, as you went out onto the floor, Coach Knifer, Mr.
Yeah.
Adam Knifer, he said to you, set a time.
Set the time to beat.
Sorry. Yes. Give them a time to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting way to word it, right? He's putting pressure on you, but still a little ambiguous. He's a new coach to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does he know that that's going to work for you?
I think he's been around me long enough to know what sort of makes me tick. And I'm someone that probably is still trying to find my feet in CrossFit and knowing that I deserve to be out there. And he knew that I could do it. And he said to me before, he's like, you can win this event. And
he does. He does say that to you.
Yeah. And I trust him completely. He definitely knows what he's talking about. And so when he said that, I was like, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to attack this. And yeah, I think it just was what I needed to leave nothing out there.
Wow. That's some crazy trust.
Mm-hmm.
I feel what you're saying. So you have a really intense relationship with him also. Like he sets you free. It's like you're the dog and he took your collar off. Like, okay.
Yeah.
There's no strategy for this one. This is go out there and war.
Yeah.
And was that hat trick just a full sprint?
It was just like how fast you could move. It was
no saving energy. No, none of the rounds. There's no saving energy.
No.
If the wheels fell off the bus, they fell off the bus.
Yeah. There was 4 minutes of rest. We knew that we could recover in that time, at least enough to get through the next round. You're not going to blow up completely that you can't do a squat. But yeah, it was just go out there. You've got nothing to lose. We both knew that I have a very fast squat. So he was like, just see what you can do.
You hear these stories of the proven camp being super duper heavy into machines. And you hear stuff like same with Matt. Matt was doing a lot of machines. Is there anything that you see at this camp that you're with? I don't even know what we call it, camp. This at Fort Vancouver. Is there something that's your guys' bread and butter?
No, I think we do a pretty good job of making sure that there's nothing that's our bread and butter, and that if anything, it's the things that we need to work on the most that we do the most.
So he'll say to you, hi Ellie, hi Justin, you're the greatest ever. Go over there and have a piece of cake. Ellie, start doing handstand walks.
Pretty much.
He knows.
He would say that as well. That's exactly how he would put it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Have there been any times where him or Justin have said something to you, or like, wow, that was a bit heavy-handed?
Probably. Actually, yes. We were doing hill sprints one day, and we were walking down the hill to get ready. And Justin was like, "Oh, Ellie, you're gonna smash this because like your legs are so powerful. You'll probably like beat me." And I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna beat you. Like, whatever." And then Adam turns and goes, "Yeah, not this meat wagon."
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So,
I mean, Justin's got a huge ass too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, speaking of meat wagons.
But yeah, so like this, I mean, if Justin had said that, I'd probably like turn around and hit him. Right. But the nickname has now stuck. So I'm now the meat wagon.
Wow. Hey, it's better than muscle hamster.
That's true.
It's
like 10 times better. I like meat wagon.
Yeah. No, that is true.
And I wonder if he'd ever used that phrase before. That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
How did you do on the hill run?
I mean, I did okay, but I didn't beat them.
Right. There needs to be an event at the CrossFit Games with some insane dune. Do you guys have dunes in Australia? You must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big dunes.
There has to be some insane event someday, just the biggest pile of sand anyone's ever seen. You make the athletes sprint up it. It would be so nasty. No.
Would not be good.
That would be harsh.
I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, you're wonderful. I enjoyed every minute.
Maybe not every single minute.
I did. I enjoyed even the old comments.
Yeah.
It made me. I'm such a narcissist that I'm like, oh, she's looking at me. She sees that I'm an old man. Like I turn into a positive. I'm like, that's so cool. Quick. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. She knows who she's talking to.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch. I really appreciate you doing this. I really do. It's only superstars like you who come on and give Matt and I your time that make the show. And I know that there's a lot of trust involved, and you handle yourself with such poise and dignity. Mm-hmm. Your family, your boyfriend, your coaches, everyone should be super duper proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Felix Shumsky.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be in touch. I'll try not to text you too much. I'll try not to burden you.
Don't piss off Justin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say.
And to tell everyone, tell Jesse I said hi. I'd like to get him on the podcast sometime.
I will. He'd love that.
All right.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye.
Dang.
She's awesome.
She's cool.
Stretch out your back.
No, my back's good. I'm just she's cool. I'm just processing how much she gave us. It's a great show. She tolerated a lot.
Yeah. She navigated herself very well.
Yeah.
She did awesome.
It was fun. She's hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's gonna be a rock star in the sport.
Yeah, you feel there's the monster underneath when you're talking to her. You're
for sure.
Yeah.
And it's so early in her career, like she doesn't even really want to let it out and discuss it or anything yet. She's like, I don't think she realized, but she's like still like harnessing it. You know, she's like, oh, the story's still being written. I'm still definitely using all this as fuel and the way she pushes herself.
I listened to like 3 interviews that she did before this, and the most recent one was the one with Tommy and Sean did with her.
Oh, with her and Justin?
Yeah, with her and Justin. And in every interview, even though that was recently, every interview I see she's come further. Mm-hmm. She's come further.
She's getting reps in.
Hey, those two, that interview that Tommy and Sean are doing with them. There's 2. It's in the kitchen at HQ. Well, the old HQ. I don't know. I think Charlie Doobie's company is now in that spot. That's the guy. Charlie Doobie's the guy who does all the live broadcasts. Okay. But his company does. I forget, Nathaniel Rhodes Productions or something. something Rhodes. Anyway, they're doing that interview in a kitchen, and there's 2 pictures hanging on the wall, and I took both those pictures.
Always lurking.
I know. I'm like, damn.
Just little pieces of you everywhere.
Yeah.
Just
and
everywhere.
And I was flattered. I was like, well, that's cool. I'm sure. I bet Tommy and Sean aren't stupid. Like they probably know that. So it's cool that they weren't petty and
took them down just because. You just saw it too, like where it's still nicer, where the pictures used to be in the dirt frame around it.
Yeah,
it's very obvious that it was taken down.
Or even worse, I have this clock of Katrin in my garage. And someone drew. I seriously don't know who did it, but someone drew devil horns on it. But I never was going to take the clock down. You know what I mean? It was a one-off. It's just like a just a one-off clock with her picture but someone drew devil horns on it, and I still just leave it up.
I was gonna ask Ellie too if she if they let their hair down and partied a little bit out in Lodi. I've only had a few run-ins with the Madeiros, but they seem like they're just a fun group. Like just hanging out over there for the summer at the house by the pool, and it would just be like an awesome time.
Lodi.
I
should move out there. Every time I hear someone live somewhere where I don't live, I want to move there, like Arkansas.
Ay.
People send me the great ethically unjustifiable. Scientists from Harvard and Johns Hopkins found that the COVID-19 vaccine is 98 times worse than the virus. Someone just sent me that article.
Sounds like a doozy.
People know. Weight of my heart. Oh, there's this guy. I'm going to send you his contact information. He is from, it's Brendan from CrossFit Mecklenburg in Charlotte, North Carolina. He sounds like a cool dude. I'm going to send you his contact, and maybe we can invite him on for one of the affiliate shows.
Shoot him on in about very soon here. Oh, I was going to say send it all over because very soon here I get on an airplane to Spain.
Oh, yeah. Like today or tomorrow?
Like I already should have probably been off here about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I got a few things to get ready, but check this out. We got invited to the next party.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
You guys invited me to the last party, and I apologize I couldn't make it. I forget what I was doing.
You weren't in Newport.
I was brushing my teeth or something. What was the name of that gym that brought her the bike in Australia? Rec.
But I tried to find it.
If anyone
gym and CrossFit. I looked it up and nothing popped up that matched what you were saying.
Hey, Victor, I saw if anyone knows that gym that brought her the bike, can you send me their Instagram? I would like to have them on. I want to know why that they did that. Victor Brown, I saw that you said that you didn't believe that you called bullshit. The heaviest dumbbell I own now is a 50-pound dumbbell. And I think I've posted some videos of me like snatching it 20 times, but I will now order when we get off from Amazon, a 70-pound dumbbell, and I will work my way up to getting my hands on a 100-pounder. I accept the challenge.
Challenge accepted.
Accept the challenge. It's crazy when you drop a 100-pound dumbbell.
They look like cartoons, dumbbells. When
just
you see
the
them.
bounces and shit they start doing, and just like, yeah. Victor. Look at Victor's in his favorite position on his hands and knees. Victor. Victor, who's standing behind you in that photo?
You don't want to know.
Victor.
There you go.
All right. Dear Bill and Katie. Thank you. Dear Bill and Katie.
100-pound dumbbell.
Oh, shit. I'm in big trouble now. I am in big trouble. Okay, fine. You want to fucking fight or what?
There he is.
There he is.
There's my guy. There's my guy.
What's up, brother?
That was a Murph photo, if you'd like to know.
Oh.
That was me doing push-ups at Murph, pal.
Hey, right? Is this your real voice?
Hey, Hey, hold on. Hey, Souza. Yeah. Congrats, man. Where you going in Spain?
Thank you. I'm going to Barcelona for 5 days, and I'm headed to Rome for another 5.
Nice. Beautiful. When you're in Rome, have a little cacio e pepe, you know? Get on the street, find a little cafe, do a little bit of that.
Awesome.
Victor,
if you get out in Barcelona.
Victor, are you in a witness fucking protection program? How the fuck is that your real voice we're hearing?
No, I'm just talking to you. Like,
oh, good, because it's scaring the shit out of me. If I'd have known you had that accent, I would have never been talking shit about you. Did we lose him? Did we lose you, Victor? Oh, shit. What's going on here? We lost you. Victor, hi. Hello. Damn it.
He was giving me some advice in Barcelona, too.
All right. Victor, thanks for calling. Guys, thanks for the show. Tonight, we have not heard back from Danielle Brandon yet. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Get your calls. Get your calls ready to speak to Danielle Brandon tonight, because you can ask her any question. What's the best way to talk to a girl? How do you approach someone in your CrossFit gym?
Yes.
Would she date a guy that's weaker than her?
Yes.
Does she prefer a wild? Does hair on the balls bother her? If you have questions about your wife's not being the wife that you want her to be, like, you can ask. Danielle Brandon will be here, and I'll be here to answer. We're the two most experienced people in the world when it comes to relationships, and you'll have us both on the same call. Victor, hi. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
No, we cut off.
Okay.
I don't want to keep you guys. I know you guys got to jump. Hey, Sue's a good trip, man. Have a good time. You guys always do great interviews, man. Take it easy,
brother.
guys.
Thank you,
call
brother.
anytime. You have the most beautiful voice of any mobster I've ever heard.
Anytime.
In the back.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Victor.
Guys, we will see you this evening. I will check in and start, even if Danielle doesn't show up. I'll come on and say hi. Tomorrow's show is going to be absolutely unbelievable for anyone with an IQ over 50. We have Scott Schur on. He is a physician, and he is one of the foremost expert on hyperbaric chambers. It's going to be a great show. All right.